This is the Ares M110, bears striking resemblance to a gun I reviewed quite some time ago, the SR25 gas blowback version. This here is an AEG and it is slightly different from that. While in Airsoft there's really not too much to write home about in the differences department, but as an AEG gun, oh my god, this thing tickles me in all the right places. So let's get right into it. Hey guys, what's going on? And here it is, the Ares M110 AEG. Now this here, what you see, is the Carbine version. Ares was nice enough to grace us with two versions of this M110, and the one you see in front of me, as previously mentioned, is the Carbine version. What is the difference between the Carbine and the regular rifle version, you may ask? Well, I'm here to answer that question. Difference number one, the rail. For the Carbine version, it has this URX style rail, slightly lighter and nicer to grip, in my personal opinion. For the longer version, it does have quad rails on the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions, as well as a long monolithic upper. On that long version, it also has covers to cover the rest of your rail section to keep dirt and grit and grime out of those. Now moving a little bit towards the rear portion of the gun is where you're going to find the second difference. For the longer version, it has a fixed M16 style stock. This one is a collapsible and adjustable style buttstock right here. Finally, towards the very front, I know we're going back and forth, to the front of the gun is where you'll find the last difference. For the long rifled version, you will have a longer outer barrel compared to the Carbine length's shorter version, shorter barrel. Some of the key differences that you might see from the SR25 are ambidextrous controls that you'll find on this M110. So everything from the bolt release, magazine release, and fire selector are all ambidextrous. Thank God, lefties rejoice. Second thing you'll find that comes with this rifle are its canted 45-degree flip-up front and rear sights. So you have the rear sight here and the front sight here. Comes with the gun. The last thing that comes with the gun, other than this magazine of course, is a scope mount like this. It even has the marking forward to let you know which side should face forward, for those who don't know. We use a different scope mount today because our scope is slightly different. Also, the mounts are already attached to our scope. Something you'll notice about this gun is it has sling mounts up the wazoo. It has one over here, and then it has one over here, and it has one over here, and it has one over here, and it translates on both sides. Let's get into a bit of the internals now. Before we get into the hop-up and where to adjust it, let's quickly go over some internal features. The M110 uses a standard version 2 gearbox with the Ares EFCS electronic fire control system. You can also program it with a programmer that you can find on our online store. You can find that in the description below. Finally, the hop-up, and I'm pretty sure you guys all know exactly where you'd find it on an AR pattern rifle. Pull back the charging handle and expose it right there. The bolt also locks to the rear, so you can release it with the bolt release. Now it's time to chrono the thing. I'm using an 11.1 LiPo that is a small to medium type connector to this AEG. I'm also using 0.2 gram BBs. Pretty consistent.
Okay, thank you Mark for the opportunity. I always enjoy this part of a test. And right now, I should let you know that the gun stand is a little too short for the M110, so I had to accommodate with the buttstock here. Everything is strapped down. The scope is dead on target. I had to use 0.36 gram BBs. I've adjusted the hop to make sure it is absolutely perfect, on target. And I think I'm pretty much set. But what I'm going to do is use the Foxeer Legend 2 Plus scope cam. This is going to add another whole dimension to it, and we're going to start recording. Let's pull the trigger, shall we? Because that's all I need to do. To make things interesting, I'll be using my left hand. 25 meters away. Let's see what damage we could do to the Quake face. Very reactive. Ooh. I could even use iron sights if I wanted to. They're pretty much on point as well. This stand makes things so much easier. And one more. There we go. Alright, let's check out that target. Alright, so let's take a closer look at the results. This is just the M110 on its own. The only thing I did was pull the trigger. Everything was very still, concise. There was a certain time in between each shot. It was all just the M110. And this is the result. About 1.5 inches of grouping. There was a deviation over to the right just a little bit. But this is not disappointing. This is actually very satisfactory. I'm happy with this result. Back to you, Mark.
I made a lot of mention to my good old SR25 video. If you want to check that one out, click in the card above or find it in the description below. I'm not even going to get into the arrows because you're pretty much blocking my face by now. Moving on. I have always had a certain affinity for guns like this. More unit style or guns you would see other special forces groups use. And the M110, it hits me somewhere deep inside, and I really enjoy guns like this. It is a very accurate AEG. It does only shoot in semi-auto. Oh, thank you, Jesus. And it has the tried and true Ares trigger system. I think, dare I say, this gun is a winner. Only thing I would wish it would be, I wish it was a gas blowback rifle. Putting aside the fact that I have certain affinities for gas blowback rifles, I am pretty sure all of you guys who want to fulfill the DMR role out there are going to be extremely happy about this particular M110. Why? It's because it's the perfect length. You can use it in confined spaces and not have it drag you down. It's not too heavy where you can't lug it around all day as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is this particular version of the M110 what you've been looking for all along? Certainly has been what I've been looking for a DMR rifle. Let me know all that. And don't forget, if you want cool products like this and many more, check us out in our online store at www.redwolfairsoft.com. My name is Mark, aka Blue Steel. I'm gonna go plink some fools with this particular M110 and catch you guys on the next episode of RedWolf TV. Have a good one, guys.